Welcome to the Body Talk Podcast. I am your confidence coach, Tabitha Sweeney. Next to me is boudoir photographer Jill Barrile. Together, we are building an empire rebelling against diet culture and the insecurity that it creates among women. This show is raw, real, and vulnerable, showcasing all things related to body, confidence, self-worth, and the power you are about to step into, if you choose. Welcome back, lovies. I am so excited. Today, I am bringing you a guest from Michigan. Her name is Jamie Lemke, and she is the founder and owner of Expansion Healing. And I'm going to let her tell you what she does. So welcome, Jamie. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Tabitha. This is really super exciting.
Yes. Tell everybody a little bit, about what you do, but also kind of walk us through this journey that you have really been on to open your spiritual doors into the holistic and healing and spiritual healing really is what it is. It's universal, like spiritual healing. Tell us more.
So about 5 years ago, I was in a 23-year marriage and I discovered I wasn't very happy. And it wasn't about changing him. It was about changing me and what I wanted and what would make me happy. So I ended up divorcing, and he's a nice guy. We still talk and I wish him love. But that was really the start of my whole spiritual expansion, so to call. um, I had a lot of muscle pain, so I went to the doctor and I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And of course, childhood, I had some trauma, so they gave me the title of, the CPTSD, the complex PTSD, and they couldn't figure out what the muscle pain was for. And I was just like, you know what? I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to really open myself up to learning more spiritual stuff. Why am I having this muscle pain? I couldn't figure it out. So about a year and a half ago, I came across a conscious facilitator and her energy healing tools, and that has been amazing. So I've been working with her one-on-one. She has helped me learn that a lot of the energies I'm holding on to in my body are not mine. They're from others. And being an empath, that's what we do, right? We want to help the world. We want to be there for everyone, and we take on their stuff. And it starts to manifest in your body, and it did for me. And ever since I started clearing that, one tool she gave me that I will share with right now is called the expansion. And basically, it's, you know what, I'm going to walk everyone through it if you don't mind. It's a quick tool. So what we do is you're just going to visualize our energy expanding out. So let's take a deep breath in, sigh it all the way out, and then envision your energy expanding out as big as the room you're in, all the way out, all the way down, all the way up. Now let's go out to the state you're in, all the way out, all the way down, all the way up. The country, all the way out, down, up, as big as the planet Earth, round, expand with everybody and everything, out into the universe. Now the multiverse, multiple universes, times that by a million, that by a million, that by a million, out to this beautiful expanded space of who you truly be. Ooh, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling very relaxed now. And what that did is that just visually expanded my energy from my body outward. So I'm no longer holding on to it. I did that tool 2 or 3 times a day for 6 months. And I was having a conversation with my doctor to get off my anxiety medication. He was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's been amazing. It's just
Really?
Getting rid of that stuck energy has been very, very helpful.
Wow. That is
Yeah,
that is wild. I love
just a
it.
simple tool like that. Yep.
Yeah, everybody who knows me, if you are a regular listener or client, you know that I have been talking a lot lately about, leaning into the universe and stop no longer fighting against the universe, but trying to work with her. And it is incredible what happens, right? When we open ourselves to those ideas and those thoughts, that what we put out is what we really get back, right? Is that kind of how you present it to people, Jamie?
Definitely. I mean, you are attracting what you put out, your thoughts, your verbal, whatever you're saying. And I'm not saying anything about counselors, but I've been to counseling before for my PTSD and other things. And if you think about it, you're kind of rehashing the same thing over and over with that counselor, right? So what is that doing? It's just staying with you. The energy's still there. You're really not releasing that and letting it go. And I told my doctor that, and he looked at me, he's like, that is a really good analogy, because now I'm working with my energy to release that. I no longer need to hold on to it. Our bodies are a receiving organ, right? Just like our nose smells, our eyes see, our ears hear, our body, our skin, we feel. So
Yeah.
a lot of times I've noticed myself just internally, tensing my muscles because I couldn't receive, right? I now allow myself to receive. There's a really beautiful tool for that too. And what you do is put somebody out in front of you, and I do it with myself. I envision myself in front of me, and I'm going to receive now from myself. I'm going to pull pure positive energy through me from behind in the space of both of us now, and then through my body. And I am just going to receive. And then I'm going to give myself gratitude back. Thank you, Jamie, for showing up. Thank you for going on this healing journey. Not been easy at times, but thank you for showing up. And that has been amazing too. Also, a tool for me to use, because receiving is not something I've been used to doing. So that's also allowing me not to hold on to those energies and that stuck tension in my body.
I love that exercise and idea, because I actually just a couple days ago had posted about how so many of us have trouble even just receiving a simple compliment. Um,
Yes,
right? Like
that
it,
was me.
and that is my wheelhouse. I deal with helping women build their confidence and their self-worth and free it from being tied to their body image. That the two do not go
Mhm.
together. And it is something I come across, and I have absolutely been guilty of it. This feeling that whether we feel we're not worthy, we don't deserve it, or we feel that, you're just being trying to be nice. And so we have this like distrust of you saying it. It's something that I think we all need to work on receiving, because the universe, God, whatever it is that you believe, the higher power wants us to be fulfilled. It wants us to live in abundance, but most of us
Mhm.
don't know how to receive that. Jamie,
Yes, you're right.
tell us some of your words, your thoughts, your outlook on that.
Right, receiving is a hard thing for most. Yes, especially for me. I'm going to personalize it for myself, because I can't speak for others. But for me, what it was is I was always the helper. I wanted to help with everything. Even if I extended my myself so much that I was exhausted. I still wanted to help people. That's just my spirit. And I get that, but now I've learned how to receive and let others help me. And it's beautiful in my marriage now. I truly have found my soulmate, and we respect one another. And I ask him for help. And it's a beautiful feeling when he says, "You don't have to ask. I'm just going to, do it." But I'm like, "No, I want to ask because I think it's a great thing that you're showing up for me just like I would show up for you, right? So, if you can do the dishes and I'll take the trash out, we're a team." And that's just been a small thing in my marriage, but a big thing for me to start receiving. Recently, I got a promotion at work, and we have a new CEO, and he was asking me about my pay structure. And honestly, when HR called me and she gave me my promotion, I thought I was going to get like a $2,000 raise, and it was quite a bit. And I was in my bedroom, and I remember myself kind of putting my hands in front of my chest and kind of going forward a little bit, like I was blocking myself from that blessing that was coming to me. And I stopped myself and I said, "No, I'm going to receive this. This is for me." So it's also a mindset thing. You have to get in the habit of doing those tools of receiving, if it's for yourself or someone else. It's a beautiful tool. I
It
even use it on people that I've had like some past issues with, and I'll say my mom and I don't speak. We haven't spoken in a year, and there's a lot of reasons for that. She needs her healing time, and I need mine. But I'll put her in front of me, and I'll receive from her, and I'll just thank her for being my mom, thank her for doing the best she can, let her know that I do love her, and I'm grateful for everything that she's given me, and I just receive and give gratitude back. And what that's doing on her end, if she is open to receive any type of healing coming her way, then she's going to receive that. That the universe is going to send that to her, and she's going to start to have gratitude and receive and do, the things that she needs to do to heal. So it's a beautiful tool all around. I love it.
Yeah, that really is. It is it is an amazing tool because it is something that, again, I don't think that we are necessarily taught as children, and I don't think it's reinforced in society, and it's something that really should be. Um, so Jamie, tell me about expansion healing. What is it that you do with clients? Who do you work with? What is it that you're practicing with them?
So I empower women to go beyond the quickness and panic and overwhelm that they might have, and I help them with breath work and energy facilitation. And I just help to create an ease of inner peace. And what that looks like is you would join me on a Zoom call off camera. I'm just holding space for you. I'm going to listen. I'm going to do some Reiki healing energy on my end. I have some other tools that I use. I like to invite you to sit around a campfire with me visually, and there's a violet flame. And as that violet flame is going up, I just invite you to throw all your junk in there that's bugging you, everything that's bothering you, things that you can't let go of, things that need healing. And I just will facilitate some energy while we're doing that. And, clients can feel it. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just sending energy." It's kind of hard to explain without really doing it, but it's just a beautiful tool. And, and then I'll ask questions. I want people to have their own awarenesses, and I might give them a little homework. Maybe, what's an awareness maybe you have this week? I want you to write it down, and then let's talk about it. And then the next time we meet, we'll talk about their awareness. And if we need to clear some of that stuff around the stuff that's coming up, I will do that too. I have some clearing exercises that I use.
Tell me a little bit more about Reiki because I've had Reiki done. Um, I mean, I should also say that like I have ADHD. I had it done in person and laying still. And trying to calm your mind is, for me, is incredibly difficult. Um, like
I'm with you.
in my head, I'm like, yoga would be so good for you. And then I get to a yoga class and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so not my thing. Like, and my brain is like on 4,000 other things. And the next thing you know, I'm not even doing the right pose. Like it's so, but I know that there are benefits to Reiki. So like talk me through like exactly what is happening in a Reiki session and how it helps somebody.
So mine is what they call distance Reiki, and I use visualization tools. I have a podcast for guided meditations that are kind of unique. So I've done some things like with angels and crystal healing. So I might just ask you, and I kind of just go like I kind of dance with your energy, right? So when you and I talk, I would see kind of what you might need from my toolbox, and I'll just kind of pull it out, and I will just send energy. So one of those tools I was speaking about is the campfire type thing. And believe it or not, I have ADHD too, but this campfire is a beautiful thing to just sit around and just visualize the campfire, and your mind won't start wandering, trust me. And then when I start, sending some distance healing to you, and then what that looks like on my end is different for everybody. But what I do is I kind of just hold my hands out. Sometimes I have a crystal in my hand, sometimes I don't. Or sometimes I'll move my hands around like a kind of like a vortex, and I'll kind of just vortex your energy through you for healing. And I usually start at the base of your feet and go up through your legs and then your torso, through your throat and your head and all the chakras. And I'll just kind of send the energy through to kind of clear. And a lot of times I will feel where there's stuck energy. If I have you take a breath, I might feel that your chest is constricted, right? Because these are the things that I went through. So that's why I'm helping others now, because I can feel these things. So if your chest is constricted, we'll do some breathing exercises that will help with that and clear some of that out. So I mean, it's a little bit hard to explain if you're not on camera, but basically that's what it kind of is in a nutshell.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I remember when I had it done one time and I don't even remember where her hands were over me, where they were hovering at what chakra, but I remember getting so cold that it was like
Hmm.
crazy. And the fact that I'm fascinated with the people who can read energy and can know where it's stuck and have the power to help clear it. Like it just completely fascinates me. Um on so many levels. So, Jamie, tell us a little bit, you know, you started because you had found a facilitator and you started working with her and you know,
Hmm.
lo and behold, your anxiety started getting better and your muscle pain started getting better and all of these things. Tell us a little bit about the journey. Like, were you ever skeptical? Because I imagine there's a lot of skeptical people out there.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't say skeptical, but my mind goes on its own a lot, and I'm such a planner, so I'm always thinking, well, what if this doesn't happen, or how could she really be doing this? And then she taught me ease and allowance, right? Those were my two words, ease and allowance, and I just kept telling myself that and opening myself up, and things just started happening. And I had awarenesses right away with her when she started healing stuff. Awarenesses that I didn't want to be part of a relationship with my mother anymore. And I know some people are probably like, wow, that's hard, but that was an awareness that I needed to have and to clear and to be part of my healing journey. Um, it's yeah, it's just been amazing. I'm just so excited that she helped to clear that.
And when
Trying to
you
think what else I could kind of tell you about that.
like, and when you talk about that, like, it's not like therapy, right? Where like you're talking it all through and then she's sitting there going, "Oh, yep, get rid of her." Like,
Oh, no, no, not at all. So, what she does and what I do is I hold space, right? So, I'm not a counselor in any way. I didn't go to school for that. This is not a medical practice, you know. This is just universal healing, right? And it's a beautiful gift that is so real and beautiful. So when she started facilitating her energy within me, I just allowed her to do that. And she, she just had me talk. She listened. She didn't say, well, your mom sounds like a horrible person. You should leave her. None of that came up. She said, you have choices. Think about what those choices might be and what would put you on your healing path, right? And then that's when I had awarenesses on my own. And I would come back from the next session with her and I would say, hey, I had this awareness that I want to change my phone number. And she's like, if that's what you choose, then that's what you should do. Right. And that's a beautiful thing because that's the choice. She didn't say you should do that. She's a horrible person from what you told me. None of that happens. It's a beautiful thing to have somebody listen to you without judgment, without telling you what to do, without, you know, it, that's the beauty of the whole facilitation and holding space. And then what she would do is she would be pulling energy through me to heal. And I didn't even know it sometimes. Sometimes she got quiet. I mean, I'm like, hey, are you still there? And she's like, oh, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I'm just pulling some energy. And then I could feel things starting to move. But, there was a lot of tension and stuckness in my body. So it took a while to untangle, unwind, and release, right? It's like a ball of a big rubber band, right? You have to peel those rubber band layers off. I mean, and I'm still healing. And what I tell people is healers don't heal you. We are here to have you have your own healing journey, right? That's the beauty of it.
it sounds like when I hear all of this, and I was recently put in a position, it was about 8 weeks ago, where I had to make a decision. And I knew the decision I needed to make was going to cost me two of my closest friends. And it was going to be very difficult. But I also knew that it was what was needed if I want to continue moving forward in life. And so when I think of that experience and think of what you're saying, it sounds as though you're holding space and you're the person who can say it's okay to do it. Like that quiet reassurance, cuz sometimes
Yeah,
you want to know that like it's inside you and it's way down deep in your gut and you just know it's what you have to do, but you also know it's going to be ugly. And you
yeah,
want someone to tell you that it's okay for you to create ugly to get to the other side, or to disappoint other
absolutely. And
people.
healing, yes, healing can be very ugly. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
People don't think about it that way, but yeah, yeah. I mean, right, who wants to divorce and not speak to their mother and all these other things, but it's created such beautiful things in my life and it has gotten me to the point where I can help other people now who have that quickness, panic, and overwhelm within their own bodies or their muscle pain, to release. And that's what excites me.
that's amazing. It is just it is so energy work, and I think uh, finding coming across anybody who has that amount of inner peace is something that we I strive for. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm pretty close. I feel like I'm definitely closer than I was 9 weeks ago. Um but
Right?
is
Even yesterday.
right. I mean, you're right. I was talking with somebody the other day and they said to me about like, when is this, like, when do we get there? And I'm like, I don't think we ever get there. Like, I don't think that's part of the deal. Like, the we are on the journey always. And like, we're always going to be tested and we're always going to have something to heal from. And we're still human. So we're not always going to make the right decisions. Um, right? Like, that's just all part of it.
Yes, that's what we signed up for when we came to play in this universe, right? If we ever got there, we would be perfect, and we're not perfect. We're humans, so you're right. Um, it's every day. It's a journey, and every day you heal more and grow more and learn more and can help others. And that's
Yeah.
what it's all about. We all have spiritual gifts, by the way. It's just finding what they are for you, right? So I'm not a person who can visually see in my mind's eye. Things are dark, and I can't hear like angels speak to me, but I can feel things and I'm very aware. And I knew this from a young age, feeling stuff from people and just holding on to stuff. I just knew I was different. So that is my gift, right? Is feeling energy and helping people to not hold on to it. My father actually passed away in December, and we knew he was going to pass away, but I didn't know the day or time. The doctors just said within like the next few days. And I woke up December 20th at like 3:30 in the morning with this dreaded fear and panic, and I was sweating, and I sat up and I was like, I'm dying. And my husband's like, what? And I said, I must be dreaming. The only thing I could think of is my husband and I were doing a trust for our family. And I thought maybe because we were talking about, all that stuff that this was coming up. I woke up in the morning and my brother sent me a text and he said, Dad passed away last night at 3:30 a.m. That was his fear. That was not my fear. I was energetically tied to my father. And people don't realize that either, that there's cords that need to be cut and released. It was a scary feeling, but I now know that when I asked my body, is this my fear or something else? And when I feel that in my body a certain way, then I knew it was something else and it wasn't mine. And so I was reassured when my brother told me my father passed away. It was crazy.
That is crazy. How
Hmm.
do you even go about learning what your gift is? Like, I mean, how did you I know you had your own journey and we've all been on our own journeys. Like, and I feel like I've been on a very long journey that includes a lot of spirituality and all of this. I don't feel like I have any gift at all. Like, how do you even go about figuring out what your gift is?
Well, you could find some Facebook groups on empaths, maybe. There's a lot of free tools out there. I've seen people offer classes on finding out what your gift is,
I did
even.
not even know that was a thing. There's classes for finding it out?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'll give you the link. I don't remember her name, Danielle something. But I actually took. She had a Facebook page, and I found her. Just and that's the beauty of the Facebook algorithm, right? Once you start searching spiritual stuff, you're going to start getting those posts more and more. So just search for tools, free tools, that kind of stuff. But she had a class on learning your psychic abilities, and I'm like, well, this was kind of my first start with her, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. She taught a little bit of tarot cards and a little bit of visualization and some of this, some of that, and I was like, nothing really resonated until I came across the energy facilitator, and I'm like, that's my gift right there. I can feel it. I help a friend who has anxiety and I could just feel her body when she's full of anxiety. She doesn't have to tell me, it's just it's really neat. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. Just like anything, right?
Yeah, that is that's incredible. Like, that I didn't even know that there were like I truthfully, and this is going to sound so ignorant and stupid, but I truthfully just thought people who had these gifts just like they knew since birth, and that was just it. Like I don't never thought about like
No. Yeah, no. Actually, I was like you too. I thought the same thing because I have a friend who is a psychic medium and she sees dead people literally. And I'm like, okay, well, she's known that all her life. I'm not, you know, gifted. That's not
right.
true. I'm gifted in healing with energy. We all have gifts. I don't know if you believe in God or the universe, but the Bible even speaks about we all have gifts. It's just we need to find what those are. And some of us might have a little bit of this and some of that too, or just one thing. That's the beauty of it.
That is so absolutely fascinating. Jamie, I absolutely love this conversation and I love what you're doing. I think it's incredible. I think the world needs more energy healers and we need more. I just said today to somebody, we need more love in it. The problem I truly think is
Yes.
so many of us don't even know how to love ourselves, and you can't pass love along if you don't know how to love yourself first. Um and so I think what you're doing is so very needed and so extremely important, especially in today's world and society.
Yeah, loving yourself was a hard thing for me to comprehend because I'm like, how could I help others if I truly am not loving myself, right? Because then you start to judge and you start to get back to that human thing,
Mm.
but that's just the form of structure that we're born with, right? You only like certain people because of this, or you're this religion because what you grew up in, and you should be a mom who has 3 kids and go to soccer practice, right? So these are all these form and structures that society puts on us, right? And that's kind of where we get stuck in this paradigm that
Oh,
is something beautiful to start clearing and looking at and realizing we don't need to be stuck in that. And once you do that, that really helps me truly love myself and start opening up more.
when you start speaking about, the pressures from society and what's expected of us, that's my language right there because that is what I coach on, that is what I do day in and day out. That is my
Mm.
passion and my purpose and why I'm here. I truly believe that because it's to help people figure out what they have always been taught and to figure out if they're actually living the life that they want or if they're just going through the motions that they were told of what's expected of them.
Exactly.
And then helping them figure out, and again, being that quiet reassurance that it's okay to follow your heart. It's okay to get really, really still and quiet and listen to what your insides are telling you.
Yes. And it's okay to divorce if that means you're going to heal. And it's okay to not speak to your parents. It's okay.
Yeah.
Those are things that society tells you that's not okay, right? My church is like, that's not okay. You got divorced. But it is, and I am healing from it. And that's the beauty about the form and structure and knowing really where your heart should be and what you want for yourself and to truly love yourself, right?
Yes. And I think it's so important to state that when you truly love yourself, you will pick you first. And that's what life is supposed to be. It's okay to
Yes.
pick you. You are supposed to pick you. I mean, I also recently, well, about 2 years ago now, I also was divorced. And, prior to me getting divorced, I would have put hands down told you over and over again how I will never get divorced. I'm not going to be one of those statistics. It will never happen to me. And then
Yep.
the universe has this really humbling way of, like putting our feet in our mouth and making us walk around like that. Because I also
Been
realized,
there.
yeah, I realized that the life I had, if I had stayed, I would have never been whole. There was no chance. Um, and I I needed and I deserved to pick me. And I think that is something, again, that we aren't taught. Like, honor yourself.
You're right. We aren't. So that's part of my message, just like yours, to help others
I
learn that.
love it. Jamie, thanks so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. Tell everybody where they can find you. How can they get in touch with you? What channels are you on?
My website is expansionhealings.com, and I have a guided meditation podcast. It's on Podbean, Spotify, Apple. It's Expansion Guided Meditations. And I also have a Facebook page, Expansion Healing.
Amazing. I am going to, for everybody listening, I will drop all of the links into the show notes so that you guys have easy access to grab any and all of Jamie's goodness and tools and her message, which is amazing and resonates so deep. And we wish you all a fantastic day. Thank you so much for jumping into today's conversation. We truly appreciate having you here on this journey with us. Don't forget, if you liked today's episode and the conversation, go ahead and like this episode and leave us a review. If you didn't love it, that's okay. Don't worry about leaving anything.